I always thought my wedding day would feel different. Not the way my hands are trembling now as I grip my bouquet, or how the pit in my stomach feels more like dread than butterflies. The string quartet plays canon in D, but all I hear is the echo of my mother's voice from last night's rehearsal dinner. "Oh, Reese, honey, are you sure about that dress? It's a bit much for your figure. My name is Reese, and I'm about to marry the kindest man I've ever known." Cade stands at the altar, his smile radiating pure joy, and for a moment, I forget everything else. Almost everything. "You look stunning," Diego whispers as he walks me down the aisle. My father's been gone 12 years, and Diego, my best friend since college, stepped up without hesitation when I asked him to give me away. Don't let her get to you today, but she already has. My mother, Mallory, sits in the front row, wearing a white dress that could easily be mistaken for a wedding gown. Classic move. She catches my eye and gives me that signature smile, the one that never quite reaches her eyes. The ceremony passes in a blur of I do's and tender promises. Cade's hands are steady as he slides the ring onto my finger, and when he kisses me, the world feels right again. Until it isn't. I first notice something's wrong during the reception toasts. Peter, my ex from 3 years ago, is here, though I specifically didn't invite him. He's standing near the bar, looking uncomfortable, but handsome in his tailored suit. "Mother," I hiss, catching Mallory by the elbow. "Why is Peter here?" She takes a deliberate sip of champagne. "Oh, didn't I mention? I ran into him last week and thought it would be lovely to have him. He was practically family once. He cheated on me. Water under the bridge, darling. Besides..." She trails off, her eyes following Peter across the room. "He's grown into quite the catch, hasn't he?" I try to focus on the good moments. Cade and I share our first dance. We cut the cake, but then I see it. Mallory, cornering Peter by the gift table, touching his arm, laughing too loud at whatever he's saying. "Is everything okay?" Cade appears beside me, his hand warm on my lower back. "She's doing it again," I whisper. "Watch." We both stand there as my mother tosses her hair back, giggling like a schoolgirl. Then she raises her glass toward Peter and says loud enough for nearby guests to hear, "Now there's the one that got away." The room seems to freeze. Someone's champagne glass actually drops, shattering on the marble floor. Cade's hand tightens on my waist. "Excuse me," I say, my voice eerily calm as I approach them. "Mother, could I have a word?" She follows me to the bridal suite, still holding her champagne. "Darling, you're making a scene." "I'm making a scene. You just flirted with my ex-boyfriend. At my wedding." "Oh, please, you're being dramatic. Peter and I were just catching up." "Like you were just catching up? All those times during our relationship?" Her smile turns sharp. "Well, he was always my favorite of your boyfriends. Such potential." Something snaps inside me. Years of her subtle digs, her manipulations, her way of making everything about her. It all crystallizes into perfect clarity. "You know what, Mother? You can have him." She blinks, surprised by my calm. "Excuse me?" "You can have Peter. You can have this whole circus you've turned my wedding into. But you can't have me anymore." I turn and walk out, leaving her standing there with her mouth open. The reception continues around me as I make my way through the crowd. Cade catches my eye from across the room, and I give him a small nod. He understands. He always has. I don't stop walking until I reach the garden terrace. The spring air is cool on my skin as I take my first real breath of the evening. Behind me, I can hear the muffled sound of music and laughter, but it feels distant now. My hands have finally stopped shaking. This isn't how I imagined my wedding day would end. But as I stand here, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of revenge, I realize it's exactly how it needed to. The morning after my wedding, I sit cross-legged on our hotel room floor, surrounded by wedding photos our photographer sent overnight. Cade's still sleeping, but I've been up since dawn, meticulously crafting my first act of rebellion. "You're sure about this?" Diego asks, helping me arrange the photos into a leather-bound album. He stayed behind to help when most guests left. "Look at this one," I say, holding up a shot of Mallory practically draped over Peter during the father-daughter dance I never got to have. Tell me she doesn't deserve this. We work in silence, selecting photos that tell the real story of my wedding day. Mallory checking her reflection while I said my vows. Mallory interrupting Cade's toast to fix her makeup. Mallory, Mallory, Mallory. Always the star of a show that was never meant to be hers. "What's that?" Diego points to my laptop screen where I'm typing. "The note." I clear my throat and read, "The role of mother of the bride has been cut for cause. Consider yourself released." "Ice cold," Diego whispers, but he's smiling. By noon, the album is perfect. I drop it off personally at her house, knowing she's at her regular Sunday brunch. Then I head home and wait. The first call comes at 2:47 p.m. "What is the meaning of this?" Mallory's voice trembles with rage. "Just documenting memories, Mother. Isn't that what you always taught me? To keep detailed records. These photos make me look terrible. Where are the normal ones?" "Oh, you mean the ones where you're not trying to steal my spotlight?" "Sorry, couldn't find any of those." She's quiet for a moment. "You're being childish, Reese. I gave you everything." "No, you took everything, and now I'm taking it back." I hang up as she starts to protest. Within minutes, my phone explodes with notifications. Mallory's tagged me in a dramatic Facebook post about ungrateful daughters and wedding day stress. Perfect. I open my laptop and begin phase 2, digital erasure. First, I untag myself from every photo she's ever posted of us. Then, I block her on all platforms. Finally, I change my relationship status to married and post a carefully curated selection of wedding photos. Beautiful shots of Cade and me, our friends, the venue. Mallory isn't in a single one. "You okay?" Cade asks, wrapping his arms around me from behind. "Getting there," I say, leaning back into him. "I'm sorry our wedding turned into this. Hey, I married you knowing exactly who your mother is. I've got your back." My phone buzzes again. This time it's a text from Hope, my half-sister. We haven't spoken in years, not since Mallory drove that wedge between us. "Need to talk. It's about Mom and Peter." My stomach drops. Cade reads the message over my shoulder, and his arms tighten around me. "Want me to come with you?" he asks. I shake my head. I need to do this alone. Before I can reply to Hope, another notification pops up. Mallory's posted again, this time sharing old photos of Peter and me, captioned, "Remember when? Such a lovely couple. Sometimes first loves are the truest ones." My hands shake as I type my response to Hope. "Cafe on 4th, 1 hour. You know she's just trying to get a reaction," Cade says, watching me grab my keys. "Oh, she'll get one." I kiss him quickly. But not the kind she's expecting. As I drive to meet Hope, my phone keeps lighting up with notifications. Mallory's friends commenting on her posts, taking sides, creating drama. Let them. They don't know what's coming. Because here's the thing about narcissists. They're so focused on their own reflection, they never see the knife until it's already twisted. My mother taught me that. She just never thought I'd use the lesson against her. I park outside the cafe and check my makeup in the rearview mirror. Hope's already inside, fidgeting with a coffee cup. She looks nervous. Good. Whatever she's about to tell me about Peter and our mother, I'm ready. Sometimes the best revenge isn't served cold. Sometimes it's delivered in a beautiful leather album with a side of complete erasure and garnished with the truth that's about to come spilling out. Hope looks different than I remember. Thinner, more tired, her designer clothes hanging loose like she's been slowly disappearing inside them. She jumps when I sit down, nearly spilling her coffee. "I wasn't sure you'd come," she says. "You mentioned Peter." I keep my voice neutral. "And Mum." She glances around the cafe nervously before pulling out her phone. "I have something you need to see. I've been keeping screenshots." Screenshots of what? Their messages. Mom and Peter's. They've been talking for years. My coffee arrives, but I barely notice the waitress setting it down. Hope turns her phone toward me, and suddenly I'm staring at 3 years of private Instagram messages between my mother and my ex. "Keep scrolling," Hope whispers. The messages start innocently enough. Mallory commenting on Peter's photos, him replying with friendly emojis. Then private messages about running into each other at her favorite restaurants, coffee meetings, long conversations about his career, his goals, his potential. All while we were still dating. "There's more," Hope says, switching to text message screenshots. "These are from right before you broke up." My hands shake as I read. "Mallory, she'll never understand someone like you. You need someone more sophisticated." "Peter, I care about Reese." Mallory, "Of course you do, darling. But don't you deserve someone who can match your ambitions?" "I found these when I borrowed her iPad last month," Hope explains. "She never logs out of anything. I think she was grooming him, like she did with all your boyfriends before him." "All my boyfriends?" Hope's eyes fill with tears. "Why do you think none of them lasted? She'd invite them over when you were busy, talk about how you were just like your father, unstable, unreliable. She'd plant these little seeds of doubt." The cafe suddenly feels too small, too hot. "Why are you showing me this now?" "Because I'm done being her perfect daughter." Hope's voice cracks. "After you left, she turned all her attention on me. I finally understand what you went through." I pull out my own phone. "I need to talk to Peter." "He's already agreed to meet you," Hope says. "I contacted him first. He wants to make things right." An hour later, I'm sitting across from Peter at a different cafe. He looks exactly like he did at my wedding, but now I see him differently. Not as the man who broke my heart, but as another pawn in my mother's games. "I should have told you years ago," he says, staring into his untouched coffee. "She'd call me to her house to discuss your concerning behavior. Said she was worried about you. Then somehow the conversations would turn personal." "Did you sleep with her?" "God, no." He looks genuinely horrified. "But there was this energy. She'd touch my arm, laugh at my jokes, make me feel important, special. Then she'd mention how you were holding me back. And you believed her." "I was young and stupid." He runs a hand through his hair. "When I finally ended things with you, she sent me a message saying how proud she was of me for making the right choice." My phone buzzes. Another notification from Mallory's Facebook crusade. "Missing the days when my daughter trusted her mother's wisdom about love." "I'll tell everyone the truth," Peter offers. "About the messages, the manipulation, whatever you need." I stand up, my decision already made. "Send the screenshots to this email address, all of them." After he leaves, I call Diego. "Remember that podcast idea we talked about in college?" I ask. "About toxic family dynamics?" "Yeah, why?" "Because I think it's time to tell my story. All of it." "You sure about this?" He pauses. "Once it's out there, I'm sure." I watch people pass by the cafe window, going about their normal lives. "My mother wants to play games with social media. Fine, Let's see how she handles a daughter who learned from the best. I hang up and open my laptop. The cursor blinks on a blank document as I type the first words. The Mother Myth, Episode 1, Wedding Day Warfare. Sometimes the truth doesn't set you free. Sometimes it's just the beginning of a better revenge. Testing, testing. Diego's voice crackles through my headphones. How's the audio level? We're in his home studio. Really just a converted walk-in closet with sound-dampening foam on the walls. But it's perfect for what we need. Levels are good, I say, adjusting the microphone. Let's do this. Remember, no names yet, he reminds me. We're keeping it anonymous for now. I take a deep breath and begin. I always thought my wedding day would feel different. We record for 3 hours. I tell the story of my wedding, carefully omitting names but including every excruciating detail of my mother's behavior. Diego occasionally interjects with questions, helping shape the narrative. That's the teaser episode, he says when we finish. Short, punchy, leaves them wanting more. While he edits, I pull up my mother's social media presence. Her lifestyle brand, Mallory's Modern Motherhood, has over 50,000 followers. Pictures of perfect family dinners she never actually cooked, advice columns about nurturing children she never actually raised, sponsored posts about maintaining grace under pressure. Look at this, I show Diego a recent post. She shared a throwback photo of us from my childhood, me in a ballet costume, her in designer wear. The caption reads, "Missing my baby girl. Sometimes mothers have to make hard choices to protect their children from themselves." God, she's good, Diego mutters, makes herself look like the victim while painting you as unstable. She's had years of practice. I scroll through the comments. Her followers are eating it up, offering sympathy and support. My phone buzzes with a text from Hope. "Mum's calling everyone. Says you're having another episode like when Dad left." Perfect timing, Diego says, hitting play on our edited episode. Ready to upload? I nod, and within minutes, The Mother Myth goes live on every major podcast platform. The description reads, "Real stories from daughters of narcissistic mothers." Episode 1, A Wedding Day Hijacking. We share the link in several Reddit communities about toxic families and narcissistic parents. Within hours, the comments start flooding in. "Oh my God, this could be my mother." "I'm crying because I lived this exact scenario." "Please tell me there's more coming." By evening, the episode has over 5,000 downloads. My inbox is full of messages from women sharing their own stories. Each one feels like validation, like proof I'm not crazy, not oversensitive, not the problem. "Reese!" Cade calls from the doorway. "Your Aunt Edith is on the phone, says it's important." I haven't spoken to Aunt Edith in years. My mother made sure of that. I take the phone with trembling hands. "I heard your podcast," she says without preamble. "It's time you knew the truth about your mother, about everything." "What do you mean?" "There are things that happened before you were born. Things she did to me, to others." Edith's voice shakes. "If you're really ready to tell this story, you need the whole picture." "I'm listening." "Not over the phone. Meet me tomorrow. Bring that recording equipment of yours." After we hang up, I find Cade in the kitchen, stirring pasta sauce that smells like home and safety. "You okay?" he asks. "I don't know." I show him my phone. The podcast numbers are still climbing. This is bigger than revenge now. These women, they're all carrying the same wounds. "Just be careful," he says, pulling me close. "Your mother's not going to take this lying down." As if on cue, my phone lights up with a notification. Mallory's gone live on Instagram, dabbing artfully at her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. "Sometimes," she sniffs to her audience, "the hardest part of motherhood is watching your child spiral into darkness. Please pray for my family during this difficult time." The comments pour in, her followers rallying around their wounded maternal icon. Little do they know, the real story is just beginning. I pick up my phone and text Diego, "Bring extra memory cards tomorrow. Aunt Edith's got receipts." Sometimes the truth isn't just about setting yourself free. Sometimes it's about breaking the chains for everyone who comes after you. Aunt Edith's house smells like Earl Grey tea and old books. She hasn't changed a thing since I used to visit as a child, before Mallory declared her sister too toxic for our family. Now I understand why. "Your mother was always different," Edith says, setting down a tray of cookies that look untouched for years. "Even as teenagers, she had this way of turning people against each other." Diego adjusts the microphone between us as Edith pulls out a weathered photo album. "See this?" She points to a prom photo. "That's me with Tommy Richards, my first love." She pauses, hands trembling. "Until your mother got involved." "What happened?" "Mallory started spending time with him after school, claiming she was helping him with math. Then the rumors started that I was unstable, clingy, not good enough for him." Edith's voice hardens. "Sound familiar?" "Peter," I whisper. "History repeats itself, dear, especially with narcissists." She flips to another page, but that's not the worst of it. The photo shows a teenage Mallory, but something's different. My eyes widen as I realize what I'm seeing. "She was pregnant," I say. 7 months along in that picture, summer of 1989. Edith's eyes meet mine. "Before you." Diego leans forward, microphone forgotten. "What happened to the baby?" "Mallory gave her up for adoption, closed. Never told anyone except me and our parents." Edith's laugh is bitter. "She was more concerned about her reputation than her daughter." "Sound familiar?" My hands shake as I process this. "So I have another sister? Besides Hope? Half-sister, technically. Different father." Edith pulls out an envelope. "I've kept these all these years. Adoption records, birth certificate, everything. Does Hope know?" "Nobody knows except me. Your grandfather took the secret to his grave. Your grandmother..." Edith pauses. "Well, that's another story of Mallory's manipulation. I think about my mother's perfectly curated image. The successful businesswoman, the devoted single mother, the social media influencer preaching about authentic parenthood." "There's more," Edith says quietly. "About your father leaving." My heart stops. What about it? Mallory didn't just drive him away. She orchestrated it, created fake evidence of an affair, sent it to his boss, his friends. By the time he realized what was happening, his reputation was destroyed. The room spins. Diego grabs my hand, squeezing tight. "Why?" I managed to ask. "Because he was going to tell you the truth, about everything, about who your mother really is." Edith's eyes fill with tears. "He tried to get custody, but Mallory was too good, too convincing." My phone buzzes. Another Instagram notification. Mallory's posted a throwback Thursday photo of her perfect little family, complete with a long caption about preserving precious memories. "I'll back you up," Edith says firmly. "Whatever you decide to do with this information, it's time people knew the truth." Before I can respond, my phone rings. It's Cade. "Have you seen your mother's latest post?" His voice is tense. "No, why?" "She's announcing a tell-all book deal, Mothering Through the Storm, How to Love Your Troubled Child. Reese, she's using your podcast as proof of your instability. The irony would be funny if it wasn't so infuriating." I look at Edith's pile of evidence, then at Diego's recording equipment. "Send me those adoption records," I tell Edith. "All of them." "What are you going to do?" I pick up the microphone. "I'm going to tell the real story, not just mine, all of it. Every secret, every manipulation, every lie." "She'll try to destroy you," Edith warns. "No," I say. thinking of all the women who've reached out, all the daughters still trapped in their own versions of my story. She already tried that. Now it's my turn. Diego starts the recording as Edith spreads out the documents between us. Episode 2, I begin, my voice steady. The mother myth. Generational damage. Sometimes the truth isn't just about exposure. Sometimes it's about excavation, digging up every buried secret until the whole rotting foundation is revealed. We can't stay married if this is who you're becoming, Cade says, standing in our kitchen with a packed overnight bag. I fell in love with your kindness, not this. This? I gesture to my laptop where the podcast statistics show over 100,000 downloads. You mean finally standing up for myself? There's a difference between standing up for yourself and burning everything down. He runs a hand through his hair. Have you read the comments on your mother's social media? People are threatening her. Good. Listen to yourself. His voice cracks. I'm going to stay with my brother for a few days. Figure out what you want more, revenge or a future. The door closes behind him with a quiet click that somehow hurts more than a slam would have. I stare at my screen, where episode 2 is ready to upload. Hope and Diego are waiting for my signal. My phone rings. It's Mallory. Darling? Her voice drips honey and venom. I just got the most interesting call from my publisher. Apparently, someone's been sharing quite the creative story about me. Truth hurts, doesn't it? Oh, sweetie, you really want to play this game? Because I have 20 years of documented mental health concerns about you. Every therapist visit, every episode, every time you've misunderstood reality. My hands shake as I hit publish on episode 2. Check your notifications, Mother. I hear her phone ping, then silence. Finally, you wouldn't dare. Already did. How does it feel to have your perfect image shattered? I'll sue you for defamation. With what proof? Aunt Edith kept receipts. Real ones, not your manufactured evidence. The line goes dead. Within minutes, my phone explodes with notifications. The episode is spreading like wildfire through social media. Hope texts. Mom's trying to delete her accounts, but screenshots are everywhere. I open Instagram to find Mallory's carefully curated feed crumbling. Her followers are turning, sharing clips from my podcast, asking questions she can't answer. Brands are quietly removing their partnerships from her page. Holy shit, Diego calls. We're trending. My inbox fills with messages, not just from daughters this time, but from mothers, therapists, journalists. Everyone wants to know more, wants to share their own stories, wants to help expose the truth. Then comes the text from Peter. Your mom just called me crying, wants me to make a statement defending her. And? I told her to fuck off, sent her screenshots of all our old conversations. She's done. I should feel triumphant. Instead, I feel hollow. Cade's words echo in my head. There's a difference between standing up for yourself and burning everything down. The doorbell rings. It's Mallory. Mascara streaked down her face. You think you've won? She snarls, pushing past me into the house. You think destroying your mother makes you strong? No, I say calmly. Standing up to you makes me strong. I gave you everything. You gave me trauma, manipulation, lies. I pull up the adoption records on my phone. Want to explain this to your followers? Your perfect motherhood brand built on a baby you gave away? She slaps me. The sound echoes through the empty house. That's it, I say, touching my cheek. That's the real you, not the Instagram filters or the inspirational quotes. This. You're just like your father, she spits. Weak, ungrateful. No, I'm what you created, a daughter who finally learned to play your game better than you. She leaves in tears, but not before threatening legal action, disownment, destruction. I close the door and slide down against it, finally letting my own tears fall. My phone buzzes. It's Hope. Mum's having a meltdown on Facebook Live. It's bad. Then another text from Cade. I listened to the new episode. We need to talk. And finally, an email from a major news network. Interested in telling your story on national television? I look around our empty house, at the life Cade and I were building before this all started. Was it worth it? Trading my marriage for justice? My future for the truth? The answer comes in another notification. You saved my life. I finally left my narcissistic mother after hearing your story. Sometimes salvation comes at a cost. Sometimes the price of freedom is everything you thought you wanted. I pick up my phone and text Cade. You're right. But this isn't about revenge anymore. It's about breaking the cycle. The annual charity gala at the Windsor Hotel feels like walking into a trap. Every socialite in town is here, including Mallory, who's holding court near the champagne fountain like nothing's wrong. But everything's wrong, and she doesn't even know it yet. Ready? Hope whispers, squeezing my hand. She's wearing our mother's favorite shade of red, a final act of defiance. The video's queued up, Diego confirms through my earpiece. He's in the control room, ready to hijack the evening's presentation. Cade stands beside me, clean-shaven and determined. We spent hours talking last night, crying, understanding. Whatever happens, he says, I'm with you. Mallory spots us and raises her glass with that practiced smile. Darling, I knew you'd come to your senses eventually. Wouldn't miss it for the world, Mother. The room fills with the city's elite, all followers of Mallory's brand, all believers in her carefully crafted image. They whisper as we pass, no doubt wondering about the podcast drama, the social media war, the rumors. Ladies and gentlemen, the event coordinator announces, please direct your attention to the main screen for our annual celebration video. The lights dim. Mallory moves to the front, ready for her moment as board member and benefactor. Then the screen flickers, and instead of charity work highlights, my wedding video begins to play. The footage is masterfully edited. Every cruel comment, every inappropriate touch, every moment Mallory tried to steal captured in crystal clear definition. The audio is perfect thanks to Diego's skills. Her voice rings out through the ballroom. Now there's the one that got away. Well, he was always my favorite. You're being dramatic, darling. The crowd shifts uncomfortably. Someone gasps. Mallory's champagne glass trembles. The video continues, transitioning to older footage. Security cameras from restaurants showing her secret meetings with Peter. Social media clips of her undermining me. Audio recordings from Aunt Edith revealing decades of manipulation. Turn it off, Mallory commands, but nobody moves. The final clip is from her recent Facebook Live meltdown, unfiltered and raw. You want the truth? Fine. I gave her everything she wanted except what she deserved. The screen goes black. In the silence that follows, you could hear a pearl drop. What an interesting artistic choice. Mallory attempts to laugh, but it sounds hollow. Now, about our charitable works. I have something to say. Hope steps forward, her voice clear and strong. About charitable works and mother-daughter relationships. Hope, darling, not now. Yes, now. Hope's hands shake, but her voice doesn't. Every donation you've made to this charity came from Dad's alimony payments. Payments you got by lying about him in court. The whispers grow louder. Phones come out, recording. And that's not all, I add, stepping beside my sister. Should we talk about 1989, Mother? About the baby you gave away to protect your image? Mallory's face goes white. You wouldn't dare. Already did. Check your phone. She fumbles with her phone, seeing the final podcast episode that just went live. The mother myth, the hidden child. You're making a scene, she hisses. No, Mother. For once, you are. The room has turned completely against her. Her society friends back away. Her business contacts delete her numbers. Her carefully constructed world crumbles in real time. To family, I raise my glass, echoing her favorite toast. And to truth. Hope walks out first, head high. Others follow, leaving Mallory standing alone by her champagne fountain. Was it worth it? She calls after me, her voice breaking. Destroying your mother? I turn back one last time. You destroyed yourself, Mother. I just showed everyone the ruins. Outside, Cade pulls me close. You okay? No, I admit. But I will be. My phone buzzes with a message from Peter. We should talk. I think you deserve answers I never gave. You don't have to, Cade says, reading over my shoulder. Yes, I do. I look back at the hotel, where Mallory's empire is falling apart in real time. Some stories need proper endings, because sometimes revenge isn't about destruction. It's about reconstruction, building something true from the ashes of what was false. And as I walk away from the Windsor Hotel, arm in arm with my husband and my sister, I finally understand. The best revenge isn't just exposing the truth. It's living it. Peter looks older somehow, sitting across from me at our old coffee spot, the same table where he broke up with me 3 years ago. Funny how things circle back. I brought something, he says, sliding an envelope across the table. Your mother's letters, all of them. I don't need— Yes, you do. He pushes them closer. Read them. Understand that none of it was your fault. The letters span years, starting even before we dated. Mallory had been grooming him since college, playing the role of sophisticated mentor, planting seeds of doubt about my worth. I was weak, Peter admits. She made me feel special, important, like I was somehow above you. Were you attracted to her? He looks down. Briefly, but mostly I was attracted to who she made me think I could be. He pauses. I'm not proud of it. Neither am I, a voice says behind me. Hope stands there, holding 2 coffee cups. Mind if I join? Peter shifts uncomfortably as Hope sits. I owe you an apology too. Save it, Hope says. We were all her puppets. Some of us just cut our strings sooner than others. My phone buzzes. A text from Diego. Your podcast just hit 1 million downloads. CNN wants an interview. How's she doing? Peter asks quietly. Hope answers. Living with Aunt Edith, ironically. All her friends abandoned her after the gala. Her business partners pulled out. She's different now. Quieter. She sent me this yesterday. I pull out a letter, the paper expensive and familiar. Haven't opened it yet. Do it, Hope encourages. End this chapter. The letter is short. You win. Mom. That's it? Peter asks. That's everything, I say, suddenly understanding. She finally sees me. My phone rings. It's Cade. Come home, he says simply. There's something you need to see. I leave Peter and Hope talking quietly, sharing their own healing moments. The drive home feels lighter somehow, like I'm finally dropping a weight I've carried too long. Cade meets me at the door with a kiss and leads me to our living room. On the coffee table sits a stack of letters. They've been arriving all week, he explains, from women who heard your podcast. Daughters, mothers, survivors. They want to share their stories. I pick up one letter, then another. Tales of manipulation, of breaking free, of finding strength, of healing. I was wrong, Cade says, pulling me close. This wasn't about revenge. This was about revolution. The doorbell rings. It's Diego, holding his laptop. You need to see this. He opens Facebook to show me Mallory's last post. To my daughters, both of you. I'm starting therapy tomorrow. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I'm finally ready to look in the mirror and face what I see. The podcast. It made me listen. Really listen. For the first time. Think she means it? Diego asks. Doesn't matter, I reply. Her healing isn't my responsibility anymore. I close his laptop and pick up the letters from the coffee table. These are my responsibility now. These stories. These voices. What are you thinking? Cade asks, recognizing my tone. I'm thinking it's time to turn the podcast into something bigger, a platform for all these women, a place to break the cycle. Count me in, Diego grins. Me too, Cade kisses my forehead. Always. My phone buzzes one last time. A text from Hope. Peter told me everything. Really everything. I'm done with Mum's version of our story. Ready to write our own? I look around my living room, at my husband who chose love over peace, my best friend who helped me find my voice, the letters from women who found their own strength in my story. This is what healing looks like. This is what winning really means. I text back. Our story's just beginning, because sometimes the best endings aren't about closure. They're about opening new doors, breaking old patterns, and finally, being enough exactly as you are. I pick up a letter and begin to read, my voice steady and sure. There's work to be done, stories to be told, cycles to be broken, and this time, I'm ready.